Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today with our Assistive Technology and Adapted PE presentation. I'm going to go ahead and introduce each one of us, but your presenters for today will be Matt Barker, myself, Lauren Goodrum, and Jeannie Urgaitis. Go ahead, Jeannie. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jeannie, and I'm an assistive technology coach for Fairfax County. I've been with the county for 14 years now, 5 of those years being a middle school teacher, and 9 years as an ATS coach.
And I'm Lauren Goodrum. I'm also an assistive technology coach with Jeannie. I've been in the county for 19 years. 12 of those years I spent in the classroom in a variety of roles as a special education teacher, low incidence, high incidence, and this is my 7th year as an ATS coach.
And hello, my name's Matt Barker, and as you can probably tell by my accent, I'm originally from the UK. I first came over to America in 2011 to work on a summer camp with kids with special needs and never left. I've done a variety of roles from teaching assistant to a special education teacher, PE teacher, and then I finally ended up in my dream position now, which is itinerant adapted PE teacher. I live in Alexandria, Virginia with my wife, and I've got 2 boys and lots of pets.
All right. Well, we want to first start off by just telling you a little bit about a couple definitions that we have, starting with AT. But assistive technology is any item, piece of equipment, software program, or product system that is used to increase, maintain, or improve the functional capabilities of persons with disabilities. Assistive technology services uses computers, augmentative communication devices, also known as AAC, and adaptive technology peripherals to maximize the potential of Fairfax County students with disabilities. ATS is specifically an accommodation in an IEP that provides increased access and builds capacity for implementation of AT. So one thing within Fairfax County specifically, we have an ATS office, and every school is assigned an AT coach. So each coach provides that support. And a lot of different school systems and a lot of different counties, that support can be presented very differently. Sometimes speech therapists provide AAC support. So specific to FCPS, we just want to remind everyone that assistive technology services and your AT coaches are the ones that do provide that accommodation support within the county.
Yeah, I definitely feel very lucky having the ATS support that just enabled me to do so much, make everything really inclusive for my class. So this first video is a baseball unit I did last year, and there's just some ways that we incorporated that technology to make it.
David, catch it.
Ready, position. Come down, David, run.
So we love that video. That shows such a variety of different learners in that environment and all the different adaptations, equipment, devices, you name it. It's such a perfect kind of quick visual to be able to see all those little pieces that are important to be in that place and give those kids that increased access to something as simple as, let's say, a baseball activity. So thank you, Matt, for that video. That is an awesome display of what we're going to kind of talk about and break down for everybody today.
Yeah, it's too much fun.
So just a quick overview of an agenda for what this presentation is going to cover. We obviously gave you an introduction. We're going to talk about specifically assistive technology within adaptive physical education. So a lot of what that is going to come under for an umbrella is low tech and high tech, but specifically into those low tech examples include switches, battery interrupters, solenoid, and high tech. There's, again, different types of switches, games, and something called a solenoid, which we'll go over. Additional resources we will certainly provide with you at the end of everything, and hopefully that will help get you started with exploring more information about all these different AT pieces within APE. Okay, a couple examples of what that means. So we kind of added a mid-tech terminology here that we also use within ATS, but your low and mid-tech resources, which we'll get a little bit more into, some of these examples can include switches, something called beeper balls, leaf blowers, bubble blowers, different types of lights, battery interrupters, power link, switch interfaces, sensory toys, modified balls, helium balloons. Some of you might have used some of these. Some of you are going, I have no idea how a helium balloon is incorporated into a switch access for a student. But trust me, Matt will go over that later. And we have something with mid to high tech. So that continuum of mid tech will bridge us between low and high tech options. But switch interfaces also, switch games that might include one switch or multiple switches, something called Tar Heel gameplay. We can also talk about what the switches and games can be used and accessed on iPads, maybe for a student that uses a dynamic display communication device during their APE activities, and also something that we use while doing video modeling and incorporating switch devices with students. Some robotics and some 3D printing are also examples of high-tech AT access for APE activities.
All right. So I'm going to be talking about low and mid-tech. Low-tech devices are simple devices that have few mechanical parts and that don't require a power source. Mid-tech devices may have some complex features and may be electronic or battery operated. So let's take a look at some specific low and mid-tech AT equipment. When thinking about how we want to adapt activities for our students, we must first look at what the student is able to do. For example, can they lift their arm to throw, or can they move their foot to kick a ball? We need to identify their abilities before we can identify the type of assistive technology that will help to bridge the gap between the output and the input. Again, the input is what the student can do, and the output is what we want to have our students accomplish, such as getting a ball to go over a net in a volleyball activity, or having a ball go into a net for a soccer activity. AT that makes equipment switch accessible. Later in this presentation, we're going to talk about various switches that help to provide access. But first, let's look at some of the AT that can help to make equipment switch accessible. A power link allows you to adapt electrical items with a plug. A battery interrupter allows you to adapt electrical materials that require a battery. And a switch interface allows you to switch control videos, software, and games on computers. So let's take a look at these in a little bit more detail in the next few slides. So here we have some different power links. You can tell that they look a little different. The blue box is the older version, and the smaller off-white box is our, I guess it's more rounded. That's one of the more current power links. A power link is an environmental control unit that allows a student to operate small electrical appliances through switch access. You simply plug in a machine, such as a leaf blower, and the student can activate it by pressing a switch. So we'll show you a video here, what that looks like.
So yeah, this one's just like a Halloween activity, and the switch provides like a doorbell, and it says "Do not ring the doorbell." And then if they do press it, balls and scarves like fly in the air, and they've got to go and pick them all up. So here.
So fun. We also wanted to share this really fun hack. A power link retails for over $300. So if you don't have that kind of money to spend, take a look at this video. It's a handy hack that uses an extension cord with a switch. And you can get these extension cords for as little as $10 on Amazon. Next, we have battery interrupters. A battery interrupter is an apparatus that allows any simple battery-operated toy or device to be activated by an ability switch. The interrupter is placed in the battery compartment of the toy or the device, and you plug in a switch to the other end. The student can activate it by pressing the switch. So here, I believe we have an adapted ping pong robot.
So it's really easy to make this ping pong robot switch accessible. All you need is the battery interrupter and a switch. So without the battery interrupter, when it's turned on, it's just going to fire all the ping pong balls out until they're all gone. So you have to try and fit this circular metal piece in between the positive terminal of one of the batteries to where it meets in the ping pong launcher. It's a little bit tricky, but once it's in there, you just kind of move the cables around and get them all nice and secure. Passing it back up. Now it's turned on, it's not working because the circuit's been closed off. When the switch is activated, that's what reconnects the circuit, and the ping pong balls will shoot. Okay, so that's my part, right? Okay, so now we're going to go over some different types of switches and how different ways we can use them. And my whole idea behind like using different switches is because we want to kind of recreate the original skill, like input, as closely as we can to the actual skill, if that makes sense. So the first one is a jelly bean switch, which is probably the most common switch that you've probably come across. And it's just a simple button, usually bright colors, comes in like a few different sizes. The next one is wobble switches. So these are one of my favorites. So you can attach all sorts of different things onto the wobble switch. It's a flexible switch that is activated by moving the flexible arm and can help provide access with almost any gross motor movement. So here we've got my moving target again. We've got the Soccer Bot 3000, but we've also got a ball in a soccer trainer attached to that wobble switch. So when it's kicked, it triggers the switch, which turns on the leaf blower, which shoots a lighter weight ball, and you've got to try and beat the goalkeeper.
Oh, the keeper, what a save!
Pop it out now. Slide to the right. Slide to the left. Take it back now, yeah.
Next up is a thumb switch. So this capitalizes on thumb mobility. So it's just like, I was calling it a detonator switch because it reminds me of like the detonators that the bad guys have in superhero movies. Yeah, you just press it with your thumb. So in this video, I've put it in some PVC pipe and attached a mattress pump on the bottom through a battery interrupter. So when they press the button on the top, it turns on the air mattress thing, and it will blow the ping pong ball, the golf ball. So I also wanted to share another type of switch that's not in this presentation. So I only got it off Jeannie, my AT coach, this week, but this is a flexible switch. So it's got some adhesive tape, and basically when it's touched, it will turn on. So I'm going to put this on that golf club. So the student works on gripping the golf club like they would a regular golf club, but then it will take so they have to line it up, squeeze, and then the ball will go. So that'll be the next step for that golf club. So thanks, Jeannie. And then there's a grip and puff switches. So these can be, these are perfect for students with severe mobility challenges. So pneumatic switch is activated by a gentle squeeze of the vinyl grip or by puffing on its mouth tube. So this is good for like grasping skills, like holding a tennis racket or a baseball bat. So yeah, you basically squeeze it and it blows a puff of air, and then that turns on whatever you've plugged it into. For this, a grass switch has been taped to a tennis racket, which has been put on a bowling ramp with a balloon on top. Then a leaf blower has been attached to the bowling ramp, which has been plugged in to a switch interface. So when the grass switch is pressed, it sends air down, which turns on the leaf blower. Okay, so this one is a head switch. So a head switch is a touch switch that people with physical limitations can use with various body parts. The switch can be operated by the head, knee, elbow, or cheek with very little pressure. There's a powerful ball joint and a threaded male 1/4 20 mounting post. So you can use the post to move it anywhere that the student might have movement. Okay, so this is a ping pong launcher. So simple toys can be adapted to make something switch accessible too. So this no-tech example offers a player a chance to participate in a game of ping pong using their own adaptive paddle. So this is a dollar store toy, like, well, it's $1.25 now. But I basically took that casing off and just sellotaped it onto a ping pong paddle. So you can launch a ping pong ball out of it by pressing the button, or you can still use the ping pong paddle. So So next up is support. So different types of frames, arms, clamps, and clips. So there's this thing's called a magic arm. This is made by AbleNet, I believe, like specifically for switches, but there's also some other things you can use in PE. So this is a double clamp. And then I also use PVC pipes, which I made a frame, which you might have seen in some of the other videos, which you can attach stuff onto, like the magic arm and these clamps. So this this frame kind of like escalated. It started off pretty simple, but now it's got 3 different lights, an external light source. Everything's like built in. So before, I found that my leaf blower would stay at one school, and as a traveling itinerant, my other students weren't getting to enjoy playing with it. So I made this frame and attached everything so I could just pick it up. It's on wheels, so it can be rolled away. And yeah, it's just made it so much easier to transport around. So in this video, there's 3 different examples of like how adaptable it can be. So I'll play it and then pause it, and that's probably best to explain. So the first one, football, that thumb switch, and we've put it on like a PVC pipe with a football on it to recreate the skill. So the student can work on pushing that when the ball's at by the ear, which is kind of like the start position you'd be in if you were going to throw it. And then we've also got a dollar store football on the wobble switch. And this one's the volleyball one. I think I've already gone over this, but working on the pump underneath and then working on the overhead one above. It's just taking out a few different things and then this last one on the frame, we've added a little joint that has a wobble switch on with a pickleball on, and then a clamp that's been attached to PVC. I use a lot of tape. You can see that everything's just like kind of taped together. Loads of crazy wires. So yeah, the student can work on swinging, But it's a great, like, I love how inclusive it is. She's hitting the balls out, and she's got 2 other students trying to catch the balls and bring it back to her. So
Technology can be more complex devices or equipment that have digital or electronic components and are most likely going to be computerized.
A switch interface. This is an access aid used to connect a switch or similar device to a computer. This allows students to navigate the screen by simply clicking the switches attached to give them access to software and fun games.
Their words are really clear, so
Beat it.
just beat it.
So with this dance, we used one of Nicole McCoy's seated dance videos, Beat It, and the idea is just to, while we're having fun, get guys involved by beating the switch and letting it continue to play. So we're going to Velcro this meatball switch to the wall to work on our curl-ups.
6. Mama. Meatball. Mia. 7. Meatball. 8. Spaghetti.
And the last thing I wanted to show you is this basketball game that I made. It can be used with the switches, or it can be used as an iPad game, but it just goes over basic concepts like when to pass, when to dribble, shooting, different types of shot. So hopefully this can be enjoyed. Also, all these games and a lot of the seated videos and all the sort of stuff I've been working on is available on my Linktree. The website's just there if you want to check that out as well, if you want to play any of these games.
We have access to these free resources. Tar Heel Gameplay, oneswitch.org are 2 examples of these websites that obviously do require access to the internet, probably a laptop, something that has Wi-Fi, that you can go ahead and access the website. On that website, there are fantastic free games, interactive activities, books. There's more than just the games, but of course we're focusing on games for right now, but all these interactive activities that are designed to work with a variety of switches for users to access. So they are pre-made things for switch access, and definitely recommend people that want to get into this a little bit more to find their familiarity with figuring out how to incorporate. Again, this is more of a high-tech resource and how it can work into your environment to increase access for kids and students that can get access onto a, let's say, computer and website, depending on the switch that they want to use. But variety of switches can also be tapped into these resources.
Yeah, and the Tar Heel Gameplay, you can like add any YouTube video on there, and then you're basically adding the like stops that you want the student to press the switch. So if the student's got a goal, like pressing a switch, try and make it like engaging. So the spaghetti and meatball, like the video would only play if they press the switch. And then that basketball game that you saw earlier, that was the same, using the Tar Heel Gameplay. And they also got some footage of a Wii volleyball, beach volleyball game. So the ball would come down and they would have to press the button to set it. And then when they did it, the video would keep on playing, the ball would go back over. So yeah, that's another great way to like explore and try and get like creative with videos that already exist out there.
And you can create them yourself, right? There's an interactive piece that's customizable. Yeah. So I did forget to mention that, I'm sorry, but you can customize your own activities if you want to explore that route as well. But there are a ton of things on there already.
Yeah, there are pre-made stuff. So it's like this, you put the YouTube ID in, and then you say, start at this time, pause here, and then say, like, what's the option and what does it do? So you're adding those buttons in there. So
right. So this next high-tech device, if you will, is called a solenoid. So a solenoid is a device comprised of a coil wire, the housing, and a movable plunger. And when an electrical current is introduced, a magnetic field forms around the coil, which draws the plunger in. More simply, a solenoid converts electrical energy into mechanical work. And Matt has done a little bit more work with this than we have. This is a new a newer resource for us that we love. So I'm going to let him at least play this video and talk a little further if he wants to on that as well.
Yeah, basically the original way to adapt this Franklin picture was to, I think you'd use a battery interrupter, but when you'd press the button down the switch, it would take like 5 to 10 seconds for the motors to get turning enough to fire the ball. So it's like, I feel like when you're pressing a switch, you need something immediate. You need that feedback straight away. Otherwise, I think like the attention span and like so much time has passed. So this. So there are other ways to switch adapt this picture, but this one was a bit more involved, but I like it because it's a one touch system. So when the lever's pressed, it drops a ball through and it fires straight away, giving that instant feedback. So basically you snip off a little part of it and then tape it back on to trick it into believing that there's always a ball there. So when it's turned on, you can hear the engine's always running. When the switch is pressed, this pops out, the ball drops through and it fires into the target. So instant gratification, pitching that ball.
So I would like to mention that that was a modified Franklin pitcher that we got off of Amazon, and that was the first tool or toy that Matt and I adapted together with the help of my ATS colleague Betsy.
So this last piece of high-tech device kind of overview incorporates our communication. So we still know that our students have communication needs, a variety of ranges of communication needs that are incorporated into our APE time and activities. And so with that, going back to the high-tech lens for communication, we're talking about something that is obviously a little bit more of a dynamic display type of communication system. And so our students that need that physical access and increased access, incorporating their communication systems into their activities is also where these electronic communication boards and video modeling come into play. Interactive video model library, which we're going to show you in just a second, and digital objective boards. These are all examples of these high-tech switch access things that help with our students that also have that probably more high-tech communication needs as well.
So this is just kind of like a interactive video that you can like use on an iPad just to have that video model of different activities. And I'm actually currently working on like a different project that will probably replace this. This is a couple of years old, but there's all sorts of different poses, different fitness exercises, just with a video model. The PE chef there. There's some of me that I made a while ago. I'm quite into like video modeling too, so I made a lot of videos in my time. And then this is the communication piece. So I tried to incorporate some ASL in there as well.
And some of that is also we call core word
Right.
focus. So those core words that students are also still using with their high-tech and dynamic display
Exactly.
communication.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to like create, but like a more PE core word sort of making.
Matt, it's so amazing when I walk into your gym and see all of the students up and moving regardless of their disability, and just being able to get in there and like participate. And you do such an amazing job of being so creative and sharing your knowledge with, other APE teachers. So you're a legend. you're doing great things.
And everybody watching this, that's part of, I think the importance that is a good reminder is that these are all your videos of your classroom and your students. And all of these examples are really just your examples of creativity of what you have thought outside of the box, put that time in to consider how to adapt things for all of your different learners and users, because they all have a different starting point and entry point and access point. And so, these video clips are really all of the credit to you for that creativity and what you've done with your students. So
thanks so much.
Yeah, we're so impressed with it on the ATS side. We're providing you the equipment, but it's obviously all your brain and creativity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. I've been a adaptive PE teacher. This is my 6th year. And I've only started using ATS 2 years ago. And I was like, why wasn't I doing this all along? And it's just taking that first step and just saying, contacting your ATS coach. It's like, I'm interested in doing this. Can you help me? And then if it's like what happened to me, it was like game changing for my teaching and making inclusive environments. So yeah, and it's so much fun as well. It's, yeah.
That's such a great point. That's such a great point, because this can seem maybe a little daunting. Like, I can't do that. There's no way I can do that. But again, you've started using this 2 years ago. Like,
yeah,
there's stepping out of that comfort zone. And obviously we know some people have certain comfort levels with technology, whether it's, again, the low, mid, or high tech. And, like you said, just having that interest and reaching out to your ATS coach too, and collaborating on finding out knowledge of certain things and how they might be used. That's
right.
Perfect example of it's never too late, but
collaboration is key.
And yeah, I think the computer stuff, that's pretty complicated, but otherwise it's like you've got a power link, you plug something in and you plug a switch in and you're ready to go. And then it's just kind of placing it in position. That's kind of the fun part, trying to get it to land in the basketball net or go in the soccer goal. And it's a lot of trial and error and just playing with it.
Right.
So check out these cool inverted commas, quotations, resources. So the first one is a new website I just created called justadaptit.com. I'll show you quickly. Oh, should have opened the link. Okay, it's that one. So this is kind of there's all sorts of stuff. There's a podcast on there. There's a blog. There's this GIF library, which has got lots of different adaptive PE stuff on there. But I'll kind of keep it to assistive technology. So you can actually search assistive technology in here. Oh, I think there's a category actually. So you can go here, go to assistive technology and see what articles. So there's different types of switches. There's adapting basketball. There's podcasts with me, Jeff Watkins, Nicole McCoy, who do a lot of ATS stuff. I'll show you this blog. So this is different types of switches. It's an article that just shows you different examples. Most of them have been in this presentation actually. So yeah, that's just adapt it. There's a lot of that's pretty new, but I've got a lot of ideas to kind of make that an adaptive PE site that's going to hopefully be really useful using technology in adaptive PE. And then my other website is netflixkids.com. So it's kind of trying to be like Netflix, but it's all health and fitness videos. So there's a lot of interactive content on there, like the communication board and learning about the bones that you can click on the skeleton and all sorts of different stuff on there. So if you're a PE teacher, or it's worth checking out too. Yeah, the seated videos as well. So fitness videos where the person performing the exercise is seated. There's a lot of stuff on there. I started during COVID. Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Also, to learn more about assistive technology services, please visit the FCPS website and search for assistive technology services. We'd also love if you followed us on Twitter at ATS_FCPS. We're always posting fun and helpful tips on various technology topics. So please follow us there.
Yeah, it's a good follow. Good follow.
Yes, and give Matt a follow. You are the Digit APE, correct?
Digit the ape, yeah.
Yep, the
At
Digit
Digit.
APE. Thank you so much to Matt for all of these wonderful, wonderful resources, wonderful ideas. We appreciate you and value you so much. You're doing our kids such great things for our kids. So thank you. And thank you to all of you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.